My name is Jason. I'm with App Academy, and today we are going to be talking about how to make an extra $1,000 designing apps and websites. So if you want to learn how you can have an extra stream of income, learning to design apps or websites, that's exactly what we'll go over today. And let's go ahead and jump into it. So quickly run through the agenda. So today we're going to talk about UX design and how you can use it to increase your income and achieve your dreams. So we're going to walk through this in a few different sections. First is just that introduction, which we're kind of kicking off now. Then we'll jump into what is UX UI design, how to make some extra cash doing UX UI design, and it's probably a lot easier to learn than you might think it is. So hopefully we can break down some barriers that you might have about trying to go through this path. We'll talk about next steps, how you can get involved in learning the skills and getting your career on track with UX UI design, or even just the side hustle. And then, as I mentioned, I'll open it up for Q&A, but please share any questions or insights or comments as we go along. I would love to engage with you guys that way through the chat as well. So let's jump in. And to start off, we're going to talk about what is UX UI design. And let's start by saying it is something. It's something in the tech field, but it might not be what you're thinking as far as tech, right? Tech covers so many different things. Sometimes we normally think of the tech industry as those traditional companies like Apple and Microsoft and Meta. But tech has really transformed into almost every aspect of our life. If you think of any product or industry out there, they're utilizing technology to reach their customers, easier, getting products filled or requests done. It's all happening through websites or applications these days. So that is where the just huge increase in UX UI design came from. So why is UX UI design so important? What is UX UI design? It is the focus on user experience design. So it's the process of creating products or services that provide positive and meaningful experiences for users. So you're really listening to what people want, why they want it, how they use it, and then you design that application or website. And we've all been there before. We've used applications or websites that have been an amazing experience, and we've probably been on some applications or websites that have just been an absolutely awful experience. And that's where UX UI design kind of comes into play. It's that bridge between the technology, the product and the service, and the people that are using it. So why is design so important for businesses? And this is why there's such a need for designers out there in the job market, as well as the ability to do some freelance work or some gig work with design. The reason is because design can help companies grow twice as fast. Having a designer on the team means higher customer satisfaction, more brand loyalty, which is going to lead to increased revenues. These are statistics from Brain Food. It's where they go over a lot of different UX design statistics. And what they found is companies grow twice as fast with designers, and their return on investment, and I know this number might sound crazy, is almost 10,000, right? It's 9,900% return on investment when you have a designer on the team. And again, I know that might sound crazy, but as we dig into this, you'll understand why design is so important for businesses. So the reason why UX UI design is so important for businesses and users is because UX designers make a user's life easier. Having a designer build products means that an app or website is going to be easy to use, it's going to be fun to use, and it's going to be tailored to those user needs. So a couple more statistics, again, going from Brain Food, those UX design statistics. Goal conversion rate, so what the company's trying to achieve, is 5 times more likely when you have UX UI designers designing those products. And the retention is 70%, meaning customers are 70% more likely to stay using your apps, sites, whatever digital product you have when a designer is on the team. And I just want to pause real quick to share some, everyday examples that we might think of, right? If we think of applications that are easy to use, we might think of something like Uber, right? Uber was, when it first came out, I don't even know how many years ago it was now, the concept of having to call a stranger to pick you up and take you from point A to point B just sounded completely bizarre, right? Nobody in their right mind before Uber would say, I'm going to call a stranger to take me to where I need to go. But Uber designed their app that promoted this ease of use, promoted this convenience where you can just pick up your phone and press a button and a car is on its way. And somehow the designers were able to design an aspect of like safety involved in that, right? We never really felt unsafe calling an Uber to come pick us up. And it's been so integrated in our everyday lives. So that's why designers are so important, because they can take a really great idea and make it into something that you want to use. And another cool experience on UX UI design is something like Airbnb, right? That application, it's not just going and booking a place to stay. Sometimes it's an experience when you're looking through there. I've done it. I'm sure some of you on this call have done it. If you've dreamt of, just a vacation that you want to go on and you're not even sure that you have it planned, you go on that Airbnb app and you just start looking at places to stay in whatever location you're, dreaming of. And it's fun to do. Designers have made that app an experience to go on, even if you're not fully committed to booking a trip. And that's why design is so important for businesses to reach their goals and retain their customers. And that's why you can make a really great career, whether it's the full-time job that you want to go through or a side hustle that you want to have as a designer. So I hope I clarified, just the basics of UX UI design and why it's so important for companies and digital products out there. Before I move on to the next section, are there any questions from anybody on here? I can pause for a minute. If you guys have any questions in the chat, feel free to post it in there. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and keep on going in just a few seconds. Awesome. All right. And again, feel free to write anything in there as we go along, and I'm more than happy to pause and clarify anything or answer any of your questions. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the next section here, right? We learned what UX UI design is. And now how can you make money as a designer? Jen, I see your question here. Probably another 15, 20 minutes or so. But if you do have to leave for whatever reason, a recording will be emailed to you right after this call ends. So you're not going to miss anything if you do have to cut it short. All right, so let's jump into the next section. How can you make money as a UX UI designer? So with design, there are many different career paths that you can choose to own. One of the most common, right, is just a corporate role where you can join a cool team. You can get paid an average salary of about $100K and contribute to those company goals. This is a little bit different than freelance work, right? You're committing yourself to a full-time job at a company, but you are getting to apply your design skills on a product like something like Uber, or maybe it might be a healthcare application that you're working on. Whatever it might be, that's what your full-time job is. You can also decide to work as a contractor. So a lot of these companies will hire UX UI designers on a contract basis, meaning they have an update they want to make to their application or their digital product, and they need designers to come on board for a project-based amount of time. It could be, anywhere from 3 months to a year and a half, whatever it might be. You will come on as a contractor. The perks of working as a contractor is you get to work on an hourly rate, and a lot of those hourly rates get a very, very high rate for designers. So there's some that have gone on contracts making about $175 an hour. That's close to $300,000 a year. So, and the cool thing is you get to work on a project, and then once that project ends, you can go and jump to another contract if you want to, or you can kind of, hang out because you've just made so much money off of your hourly rate. So UX UI designers make a very good rate on contract work. And then lastly, the career path that you can own is as a freelancer. So you can be your own boss. If you get those design skills, you understand what it takes to transform those digital products into good experiences that people want to use, that help the business reach their goals. You can be your own boss. You can start your own agency. You can sign up for, for freelance work. There could be some small businesses that are looking to, hire designers that, just to get their website or their application launched because they don't have the budget for it. And doing this, there's been people within freelance that have made, up to $50,000 per project, and getting to choose the projects that you want to work on. So all three of these career paths are available to you once you learn those design skills. I'm going to keep on going, but I would love to hear from you all, on here, which one of these sounds most exciting to you. It could be any one of them. It could be a mix of them. I would just love to hear, which one stands out to you, and feel free to explain. But as we keep on going, if we are focusing more on that freelance role, right? The point of this presentation is, making about an extra $1,000 a month. Here's the benefits to becoming a freelancer, right? Not going into that corporate role, not signing on as a contractor, but getting to be your own boss, charging clients from, anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000, depending on what that project is. Also, depending on your experience, right? The more experience you gain, the higher rate that you can charge for your design projects. You have flexible hours that you can set. So you talk with your clients, you can set your work schedule, and deliver that work to them, based on whatever agreement that you guys work out on your kickoff calls. You can make more money. Freelancers can make as much money as they want, uncapped by salary, because you can take on these projects. If you're working, one or two projects and you feel like you have the ability to take on more, you can go ahead and do that. You're also never going to get bored, right? It's part of being exciting projects, designing apps and websites. The design process is a really great thing to learn and go through, and just being able to replicate this on all of the projects that you pick and choose is a really, really exciting and fulfilling career option for anyone. Also, you get to work from home. So, you can work from your house, a coffee shop. You can go travel to that faraway destination from that amazing Airbnb dream villa that you were looking at before. It doesn't matter as long as you're delivering the work to your clients. And it's a dynamic industry. As we've said, technology has made its way into every industry out there. It's not those traditional tech companies like Apple and Facebook, or Meta, sorry. It is now in every aspect of our lives. Every product or service that you can think of is using digital applications or websites in some form to be able to cater to their customers. So you can work in anything. And that's great, where if you are thinking of doing a career change into UX UI design and you have a background in something like education or something in the healthcare field, you have that experience already. So being able to add those design skills is going to really demonstrate why you're a great candidate for, whatever industry you're going into, because you have that experience to rely on. So these are just some amazing benefits that you can have as a freelancer. Again, feel free to share your thoughts. If any of these stand out to you, we would love to know why. But as we keep on going, this is what that freelance track kind of looks like, where it's setting your own schedule. And I'll show you a little bit of the Academy program and how we kind of abide by a similar type of schedule in our Career Jumpstart program to help teach you working with clients. But it really starts off with a day one, kickoff call. You talk to the clients, you understand what their needs are. Then you kind of talk them through the design process that you have in mind, that you've, kind of gained the skills on. And you start going through some expectations, right? What is their vision for their product, and what can you deliver? You start going through, your research, your user flows. You check in with the client to make sure everything's kind of going according to plan. Then you start mocking up what we call lo-fi wireframes, sort of like a blueprint of what the application or website might look like. You go through more reviews with the client, and then you can, start on the actual design work and designing prototypes for what their end product goal could be. And again, I'll show you some examples of this at the end of the call, but this is kind of the typical schedule for a freelancer in UX UI design. Now, here's a couple ways that you can set your own rate as a freelancer. So we have the first one is per project, right? There are jobs out there, or I'm sorry, there are opportunities out there that clients are willing to pay per project. So you can kind of set, negotiate with them, include a base price, how many hours you think it's going to take. You can, mark up, even 55% in some cases for your labor, and you can create a quote for the deliverable of that specific project. As a freelancer, you can also charge per hour. You can talk to your clients, understand what it takes to kind of get that job done. And you can divide that by your monthly income in 4-week increments if you wanted to, or 40 hours if you wanted to. And you can figure out what you want to charge per hour to be able to meet your, your budgeting needs, your financial needs. And you can set this. If you have those skills, they'll be willing to pay. You can also charge per feature. Some applications or products might already be up and running, and some of these clients might just need a couple of updates to that product, right? It might be a little bit outdated. If you can come on and sort of, change the look and feel of some of those things, you can go ahead and calculate how long that would take you and set your price for that as well. And then, as always, there's a retainer. It's just as an added bonus. You can talk to your clients about putting your retainer to do user testing, make adjustments, and then collaborate with developers. So really get that full scale feel of what it looks like to not only design a product for them, but also go through the whole testing process and then working with developers to bring it to life. So just a little bit of an extra slide here when it comes to freelancing. How to make more money from what you design. So once you know how to design, once you gain those skills, you have the ability to make as much revenue as you really want with anything you want, right? You can work on design for advertisements, subscription models, affiliate. You can do affiliate marketing. You can do sponsorships. I mean, the list goes on and on and on how you can go ahead and make that revenue for yourself. All it takes is learning the design process. And then from there, gaining some experience. It could be smaller projects, whatever it takes. And then once you learn this design process, you replicate that process over and over and over again for every project that you work on. The only thing that's going to change is the business needs for the product that you're working on and the user needs for the target group that they're going after. So once you learn how to be a designer, it's all about replicating your own process and refining your skills. So we're getting into some of the final sections here. What I wanted to share with you all, and I'll go ahead and post this link in the chat, is just a quick survey. We do a lot of these calls on many, many different topics related to UX UI design. So this one, again, is more so on freelancing, but you can find some, some other topics on breaking into tech or, how to sort of get into the field as a designer. If you look at our YouTube channel, we have so many different videos and presentations on these types of topics. We would love any feedback that you'd be willing to give. Let us know your thoughts on what we're sharing with you guys. If you have any additional topics that you'd love to hear, you can go ahead and share that as well. We would really value any feedback you can give. So if you can scan this QR code, it will take you to a quick 1-minute survey, and to show our appreciation, our gratitude for that, we will send you a $250 off coupon to our foundations course. And I'll explain what that is at the end of this call. But if you are on your phones and you can't scan this, here is a link to that survey. Okay, perfect. All right. And I'll pause for just a second. Are there any questions at the moment? All right. If so, you can go ahead and type it in the chat, and I will keep going through the presentation, and I'll be sure to pause if you guys write something in there. So we're now getting to that part of that next steps, right? We understand what UX UI design is now. We understand why it's so important for businesses to have UX designers as part of their team to make that product a good experience for users. You see the benefits of working as a freelancer. If this is what you believe that you can do, then you're going to be able to do it. And here's the actionable steps to UX freelancing, or even just um, breaking into design. And yeah, I see a comment here. Is there someone we can talk to get actual step-by-step process of beginning freelancing? Yeah, I just shared it on the screen. Absolutely. What I will do at the end of this call, I will share another link where you can schedule a call with our career advisors. I'm also going to show you a little bit about the Av Academy program and how it can get you the skills to get on your way to freelancing, as well as get into a network with some mentors that might be able to help, talk you through that stuff as well. But here's the actionable steps that I can kind of share with you as a high level overview on getting into UX freelancing. So the first thing that you need to do, obviously, is make that decision, right? Everything you've learned today, if this is calling to you, if this is something that sounds interesting, do some research, look at some, options out there, and then, yeah, absolutely, no problem. And then, if this is something that you feel like you deserve, then this is an opportunity that you should go for. And there's many, many ways to learn. I'll show how how Av Academy teaches design, and then, feel free to do your research and explore some things out there for you. Once you make that decision, you then go ahead and get educated. You can learn design. I recommend going to a trusted source. The reason that I would advocate for boot camps or some sort of program instead of just going through YouTube or some online courses is because trusted boot camps or programs that you might do some research on are going to give you those design skills that are needed in the industry today. Boot camps, online programs, they're constantly updating their curriculums to make sure you're learning the most up-to-date skills to get you into that career track as quickly as possible. And in most cases, you can learn those skills in just a couple months. So get educated, get those skills, and then start building some design projects. And that's what we call as building a portfolio. A portfolio is your opportunity to showcase your design skills. I'll give you an example of some of our students' portfolios so you can see what it looks like, but it's basically a collection of all the design projects that you worked on, and it shows how you've kind of walked through a design process and created, recognized the problem and created a full-blown, prototype of a website or application to address the user needs or the business needs that you're designing that project for. So your portfolio is really the key to getting you into the UX UI design field and getting you into freelancing if that's the route that you wanted to take. And then once you kind of gain those experiences, you build those projects throughout your portfolio, go ahead and start your business, right? It just takes one client to really go ahead and get started. Once you land that first client, you get that design project out of the way, it can lead to referrals. It can lead to, many, many different avenues for your name to go ahead and get out there. So go through interviews, talk to companies, talk to people on LinkedIn. But this is where once you get that experience, you can really start working for yourself and building that business. So these are just the 4 actionable steps that we like to lay out on getting into freelancing. Before I go into the Q&A, I wanted to show you guys a couple examples of, number one, how Av Academy teaches UX UI design and helps you gain those skill sets and build that portfolio. And then I'll show you an example of what a portfolio looks like. If you have any questions, as always, post that in the chat and I'll be sure to pause and address what you need or whatever clarifications you might need. So to get started, let me bring up our website here. So this is our website at Av Academy. You can land your first tech job. We, have different programs here. So I'll go ahead and show you the 3-step process that we teach to getting a job and making $85K per year. So the first step is learning the foundations, right? You need to learn the foundations of UX UI design. And we have a foundations program that can be done in as little as 8 to 16 weeks. There's unlimited mentorship throughout this program. So you get to talk with industry professionals, work on your very own design project. You don't need any experience. You don't need any degrees. It is something you will learn throughout this program, and you build your first portfolio project. When you finish foundations, you will leave with one project in your portfolio. If you're interested in gaining more experience, we have the step 2 and 3, which is called Career Jumpstart. This is where you get to work with real clients. So you get to kind of see what it's like to work in that freelancing environment where you're working with, we partner up with small businesses, with startup companies, nonprofit companies to take care of any design needs for them. So you get to kind of understand what it's like to, talk to clients, map out the design that they might have in mind. You get to work on a team with other designers. So you can kind of get that team dynamic experience. And then, of course, you get to add these projects to your portfolio as well. At the same time, you are getting unlimited mentorship throughout these projects as well. So you get to rely on industry professionals to help you navigate any early challenges that you might have when you're kind of getting your feet wet in the UX UI design field. From there, once you kind of get that real world experience, work for some client projects, we then give you the job support so you can go on interview preps, you can connect with hiring partners. We do have a job guarantee. So if you were interested in kind of maybe going that corporate route at first or going in that contracting route at first, just to get some more experience, you can do that. But you can also take these projects and what you learn in Career Jumpstart and start your freelancing business as well. So that's our 3-step process. And here is what it looks like when you finish. So this is an example of one of our students. And this is the portfolio page that I was explaining about before. So you can see this is a designer. She had a background in education and she transitioned into design. All of these thumbnails that you see are different projects that she worked on. So you can see this was on a team of 5 for an e-commerce company. This was on another team of 5 for a humanitarian social platform. This is more what you would do in our foundations project as a sole UX UI designer working on a project that might be interesting to you. And let me show you what it looks like to kind of go through the design process. So this portfolio captures everything that you go through in our foundations course, step by step, to build a product as a UX UI designer. So this student recognized the problem that parents need better resources when they're traveling with kids, right? I think we can all agree. We've seen parents in airports or, train stations, bus stops, whatever it might be with kids, and it just can seem a little bit hectic. If you're a parent yourself, I'm sure you've gone through this. So once you identify that problem, you then start going through what we call the design process. And this person did our course in about 10 weeks, and this is what they learned to create. So this is actually a finished product of their application that is intended for helping people plan trips, make trips a little bit easier, the planning process a little bit easier with families or larger groups. And we teach it in this process here, where we go from discovery all the way to design and test, and then reflecting on your product. So discovery is really doing that research, understanding who your apps are going to be for, right? You can see this person talked to some people. This is a parent with 6 kids, somebody with a toddler, right? Just a wide range of people who relate to this problem to gain some insights into what they're struggling with. From there, you kind of map out some experiences, some things that you learned from your research, and then you turn this research into what we call ideas. And that's where in design, you can kind of take what you've learned through this research and come up with these incredible, out of the box creative ideas that, the design process really helps unleash that creativity in you. We always start, small with, sketching just by hand, right? You can see this would kind of look like a cell phone or something, right? It's a small interface. And then when you see all these ideas that you sketch out, you then start turning it into an idea for a website or an application. So this is how we map out the pages, right? You can see the home page, what would go on that, different types of pages on that application. And then as you continue to go through this, you'll see how this was transformed into an actual product, right? You kind of go through the steps of design where you start with like the blueprinting, the wireframing, we call it. There's no color or anything like that. You're just kind of getting the layout kind of established. And then you start adding the color in there. And then you end up with something like this, right? A full-blown product that you can go and actually test on those users. So this is a prototype of this student's project. This is how it would look on an iPhone. And users can actually go ahead and test this. And then you reflect on the findings that you had on your testing and make any, adjustments and things like that. So you can see some before and after. So this is what our foundations program will teach you. You'll leave foundations with a full-blown portfolio project. And then if you were interested in Career Jumpstart, again, this is kind of more catered towards that freelancing side. It would be something like this, right, where you're on a team, and you can kind of see the aspects of freelancing in here, right? It's the same kind of process, but it's also a little bit different where you have time with the client, right? You talk to the client, you understand what they're looking for, what they want. You kind of evaluate some of the things that's sort of missing with what their current project is. And then from the client, from understanding their vision and what they want, you then go and target their users and kind of follow that same process to go ahead and create a different type of product that would be for their solution, right? So you can kind of give them, different options, explain your design decisions, all these different color palettes and things like that. And then again, you see, this is not a application, this is a website, but this is what it kind of comes out to look. And then what we call dev handoff, this is where you give it over to developers to actually code your designs and bring it to life from what you created. So that is our process. Again, the foundations program is great for you to learn the basics of UX UI design. The Career Jumpstart program is great for you to get that client experience, as well as work with other designers and mentors. And eventually you can go ahead and build out that portfolio and, kind of start your career from there. You can go through any of the paths that we were talking about: corporate, contract, freelance. You just need those skills, and you can go through this process in well under a year. So yeah, that's it. I will open it up for Q&A if you guys have any questions. These are our social media accounts that you can follow us on: Instagram, TikTok, on LinkedIn. If you want to email us, you can email us at info@avocademy.com. And then this QR code will set you up with a call from our career advisors. So I will go ahead and post that link in the chat as well. Our career advisors will go over, the programs in some more detail. They can, if you have a goal in mind for what you want your career to be, if you're on the fence of UX UI design, whatever it might be that you have, questions on, talk to our career advisors and they'll help answer, any questions. It's a quick 20-minute call, and they're incredible. They'll talk you through anything you need to help you make the decision that's best for you. So go ahead and either scan that QR code or click on that link that I just sent. And we would love to hear from you guys. What kind of AI? So let me see here, Jen. Awesome. So great question. We actually we do incorporate a few different AI tools within our program, especially during the research phase. We like to utilize ChatGPT and things like that for analysis. It really helps build out some of our research processes and analysis for things like that. But the main tool that you're going to learn, Jin, in our program is going to be Figma, which is a design tool. And Figma is what all of those projects in those portfolios that you were looking at is is how it is created through Figma. On top of that, if you are interested in AI, we are launching. You can talk to our career advisors about this as well. We are launching a product design for AI course where you're designing something that is run on an AI powered product like a voice assistant or a chat bot, right? You're not designing those algorithms that AI uses, but you're designing the interfaces, the way that people interact with these smart AI systems. So we are launching that course. It could be a cool program if that's something you're interested in as well. But again, talk to our career advisors. They will answer any questions you have. And then I see the other question in here about mentorship. I will get back to you on that. Let me talk to our student success team, and I will be sure to email you about that question. I'm sorry I can't give you an answer, right now, but I promise I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Awesome. So great questions. That wraps up the content. If you guys have any other questions, I'll hang on for another minute or two, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that come up. If not, I really appreciate your time tonight, kind of going through these topics. Check us out. We have other videos on many topics related to design and the tech industry, and things like that. And then if you're, interested in kind of discussing more, please schedule a call with our career advisors. They're amazing, and they would love to address any questions you might have. So awesome. With that said, looks like no other questions are coming through. I'll hang on for another 15 seconds or so. But if you guys are good, feel free to drop. I really appreciate your time. You'll get a recording of this presentation as well. And we really hope to hear from you all soon. Thank you, everyone.